We are live.
Okay,
We're live on YouTube. I don't think Facebook. It's giving me the same issue it gave me last time.
Okay, yeah, no, it has the.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Just want to jump in.
I think. Do you want to just introduce the program?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Kendra Kay. I am a soprano in New York City, newly in New York City. Those of you who have followed me before know that I was in Idaho before this. And we are putting together this amazing program of self-love and love, which is an important topic to me that I have covered in my previous live streams that I did back in Idaho. And this is Felix Jarvar, who is a composer and pianist, and we're excited to feature several of his works on this program.
Yes.
Would you like to say something?
Yes, totally. So Kendra and I connected during the pandemic through an event called Composers and Cocktails that an opera ran, and she was interested in new collaborations, and I'm always down for any kind of new collaborations or artistic endeavors. And we were talking a lot about different things that we were interested in or what inspired us, and the idea that came up throughout our conversations was the idea of self-love, self-worth, and a program about kind of self-respect and kind of having a concert and a recital that utilize those themes and ideas. Also, we're live streaming from the Heights, so you might hear some loud Dominican music at some points, but that's just the neighborhood, so think of it as like music concrete that accompanies this performance. Anyway, so we basically curated the performance to feature the world premiere of my song cycle "We Could Grew in Water" with text by Shannon Holland, which I will talk later about in the program. Kendra, do you want to introduce the first piece?
Yes. So this first piece is from a new opera called Pieta, which is a prequel written for Suor Angelica. I premiered it in Italy this summer as the lead Alma, and this is her aria, "Take It From Me." And she is a young girl in the Pieta who finds her power through her art. The world will put you in some tough positions. You make decisions. You do what you must to survive. You'll guilt me why you Thank you. And that was such a fun work to do with the composer. It's amazing to be able to work with composers. So that was one I got to do with Jake Landau, and now we're here with Felix, which is awesome.
Yes. Just responding to our lovely group news host who's just confirming things.
Oh, good.
Because we had some technical difficulties with the last episode.
Yeah.
Apologies for just zoning out for
I'm glad you checked that.
A minute.
Also, make sure that the sound is good.
Yeah, she was like, oh goodness.
And as in the story of Alma, just discovering what our power is a life's journey. And as I said, Alma found her power through her singing, through her art. And she wanted to give that to somebody else, but that's just not really how it works. We have to find it ourselves and discover it for ourselves. And I just want to say that to our audience that your power is in you. And I'm guessing one of the things that makes you feel powerful is writing your music.
Yeah, it's also like one of the only things I know how to do. That's not true. I actually know how to do a lot of different things, but it's something that like feels very easy for me to do, and it also makes me feel good about myself and makes me self-love, which is the theme of this program.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next piece on the program, which is an original composition.
Right.
So you're going to see that, and this song cycle actually does deal with self-love, not just the act of me writing the piece, but the theme. So Shannon Holland is an old friend of mine from Marlborough College in Vermont, where I did my undergraduate education in music composition and piano performance. And she's also a wonderful writer and poet. And over the pandemic, she sent me a couple of her poems because she was inspired by the art songs I was posting through Instagram and YouTube for my social distancing salons. And she gave me these two poems and under the title We Who Grew in Water. And the idea of it is about relationships growing through meaningful things in nature, which relates basically to our existence in Vermont amongst, different kinds of brooks, trees, mountains, and the power of nature for cultivating those relationships. The first song is called I Will Adorn You in Indigo, and it uses the description of this color to evoke nostalgia for the past, with also some kind of funny, almost tongue-in-cheek lines here and there to kind of offset the romanticism that Shannon beautifully displays. The second song, which is a favorite of mine, is called Unfurling Beloved Life, which talks about the beauty of life, almost in the context of nature in almost a scientific way that's less poetic, which I thought was really cool. And the way that these two texts work together is that you have the thread of romanticism that ties the different themes that are talked about in it. So without further ado, here's the world premiere of We Who Grew in Water.
But for my friends of whom I say too little, I would cast my dowry in the cow pond. Unfurling, beloved life, like the sweet flowers emerging from the midst of the kidlet. I dream I am treading on the lily paths, a quarter way through, and I looked back. The pond, afflicted with 1,000 petals, from which beloved people met. A darling garden full of upward sky, from the mystery of blessed sands. When I think of these two pieces that we just did, I just think of self-love is a big part of self-love is finding the people in our lives who love us the way we love ourselves and exactly as we are. The next piece is Unfurling by Fauré, and Felix is going to read the English poetic translation of this piece.
Yes. Unfurling, which translates to muted. Trying to look into the camera, read my iPad at the same time, multitasking people, you learn how to do it.
You got it.
This is a translation by Richard Stokes from the Oxford Leader. Come in the twilight, cast by loft boughs, let us steep our love in the steep quiet. Let us mingle our souls, our hearts, and our enraptured senses with the hazy languor of arbutus and pine. Half close your eyes, fold your arms across your breast, and from your heart now lulled to rest, banish forever all intent. Let us both succumb to the gentle and lulling breeze that comes to ruffle at your feet the waves of russet grass. And when, solemnly, evening falls from the black oaks, that voice of our despair, the nightingale shall sing. Here is Unfurling by Gabrielle Fauré.
Dans le demi-jour, les branches hautes font And with that piece, loving ourselves is part of loving other people. And being entangled in love with another person helps us to see the love within ourselves that is always there if we just open our hearts.
Yes. So I've taken off my jacket and put on my high pony, and that usually means there's an intense moment coming. And, Kendra, do you want to introduce this next piece?
Yeah, I think it's appropriate to say something about this. So we tried to vary up the program, and we're looking for different periods to represent. And so when we went for the Baroque period, Semele, of course, came up because endless pleasure, endless love is just the epitome of self-love and indulgence. And Semele, the whole opera itself really is like overindulging in self-love. So, but I really wanted to show another side of it, like when it's taken too far, a little bit of maybe like Violet from Willy Wonka. And this is a rage aria where she's demanding that Jupiter reveal to her his godlike form, and she will accept nothing less because she deserves it. New York City, everybody.
Great. Manhattan living.
We were afraid it happened earlier where it didn't shut up, so we were afraid that was what was going to happen.
Yeah. Let's do it again.
So, I couldn't help but just laugh.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. I'll know what you are. You taste and I haven't done coloratura in so long, and I think self-love is like being really proud of the fact that I did that. Yeah, and it's where it's at after, I think I've only been working on it a month, so very pleased with that. But to go back to Semele and like this all-encompassing self-love, like what do we overindulge in it? It can lead to a little bit of self-destruction instead of self-care. Too much pampering and not enough loving limits for ourselves, right?
Yes.
Leads to our destruction. So learn your lesson from Semele, and I hope you're enjoying a nice, relaxing self-love Sunday afternoon with us. The next piece, we're coming back to another one by Felix.
Yes. Before we go on to the next piece, I also want to let you all know we are so appreciative to have you here today, and that the link for donations should be in the comment of this live stream, and the money goes to the musicians. And that's what's really great about Group Muse. They've done a lot to support musicians during the pandemic. They had that drive during the spring of last year where they raised so much money for COVID cancellations of Group Muses for musicians, and I, among others, were beneficiaries of that, so we're very thankful for that. So if you can look and you can find the donation place, it should be in the comments. If not, I believe my information is listed in the event. So I just wanted to put that out there, because usually you can't do a donation handout during something, during one of these, which you can't do right now. Hopefully soon, if Delta doesn't get too bad.
Right.
But we're gonna slow things down a notch. So we had some very exciting rage like Handel, and now we're going to do a song I have never done in person before. I've done this song many times virtually, coached it many times virtually, so this is kind of going to be interesting. It's like a premiere of a piece I already know, but it's never been done live. It's called Red is Self-Love. I wrote this for my dear friend Joni Brittingham for the Opera on Tap June 2020 Pride concert at their online cabaret, Emmy and Harry's. And I love to associate moods and colors together and describe emotional situations through them, for lack of a better word, very broadly. And so when Kendra was talking about self-love, I was like, I have a song which has self-love in the title. But not only that, it is unique, I think, among my songs about colors, in that the color of red means something different to the singer at the beginning of the song, and at the end it means something very different, because it's a color you associate with passion and intensity and lots of vibrant emotions. But by the end of the song, it represents kind of inner peace, because you really look at yourself and the intensity of it, and the intensity of that color gives you some sort of hope, comfort in yourself, after, having, I wrote it after a breakup, and I wrote the text as well as the music for this one. So I really went into that, and the form of the poem kind of is like a string of haikus together, which is like how I thought of it. So, and it kind of has a Purcell feel to it. Purcell is one of my favorite composers, so it was very fun to do a piece that was kind of an homage to that. And I'm very excited to have Kendra premiere it live. So here we go. Red is Self-Love, everybody.
Represents fire, and how I feel empowered. Red represents joy. do love myself, so I'll sing this song. Red is my self-love, and love for the soul I've seen in my reflection that stares back at me. Red is our self-love, for how beautiful we are, even when we're sad, we are shining stars. Red is self-love.
We didn't wear red randomly, in case you're wondering.
We what?
We didn't wear red randomly.
No, we didn't wear it randomly. It's very intentional.
Very intentional.
I have 2 red things in my wardrobe. I was like, okay, well, here we go.
Yeah, I have my red velour like wine color jacket, and I was like, this is perfect. Whenever I try to do the songs about colors, I try to wear just to match it up, give it a thing.
Well, and like you said, red is a very empowering color too, so it goes along with self-love very well. And we're at the end of our program now.
We are.
And I just want to say that loving ourselves takes on many forms, including confidence, which is what we're headed into, like extreme, insane confidence.
Yeah.
Enjoying our strengths, like really reveling in them almost to the point of arousal, really.
Yeah. We're talking about Musette con Lago, and by the way, in case you're wondering what that was about,
yes,
so
yeah.
Yes.
And like I feel self-love when I listen to myself sing, because it is just like Alma, and it's such a good bookend, as we've talked about, because Jake Landau wrote Pieta as a prequel to Suor Angelica, so it's very Puccini-esque, and so we have these kind of Puccini bookends to the concert this afternoon. But yeah, we are going to share just a little bit of Musette's confidence with you as we end our program. So, and if I move around, don't be alarmed.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
So that's the end of our concert. Thank you so much for joining us for To Love and Self-Love.
Yes.
With Kendra Kay, aka the Baroque Soprano, and me, Felix Jarrar, composer and pianist based in New York City, hosted the Group Muse for this Sunday afternoon concert. Apologies for halfway through with the bell ringing. Otherwise, I think we all had a great time. If you could please look in the donation section of the live stream and give us a donation. The suggested amount is $10. If you feel inclined to give more, you can also totally do that. Whatever works for you works for us. Yes, and I believe we're going to have now a Q&A on Zoom.
Yes.
So we're going to end this live stream and hop on back to Zoom, but we will see many of you there if you've registered for the event, and if not, have a great Sunday.
Yes, enjoy your Self-Love Sunday. Take some time to do something for yourself and also share that love with others. So, thanks for being here.